He's been a controversial figure in the past. Mahatma Gandhi has called him India's most faithful son, and now Veer Savarkar is finally reclaiming his place in annals of Indian history. First, his portrait was added to the new Parliament building. Then the Bandra-Versova sea link was renamed after Veer Savarkar, and now a chapter on his role as far as the freedom struggle is concerned has been added to the Delhi University syllabus. The Academic Council has approved the change suggested by the Vice Chancellor to add a chapter on Savarkar under the Hindutva ideology for undergraduate students of political science. Incidentally, this comes with other revisions like the chapter on poet Iqbal being axed. Some have viewed this tweaking of the syllabus through an ideological prism and accused the management of pitching for a Hindutva ideologue and erasing the legacy of Iqbal. Here how the Vice Chancellor has backed the views of the new syllabus, says that it's time that students learn about India's patriotic heroes like Savarkar and not Iqbal, who backed the partition of India.
This is a new paper which has been introduced in 6th semester. And all these papers are optional papers. Savarkar was a very prominent freedom fighter of our country. And he has done so many good things in the freedom movement. We should give an option for our generations to know about Savarkar, a person who was in Andaman Nicobar jail for so many years. And he sacrificed his life for the country, and still people say he's controversial because Savarkar was portrayed incorrectly in India, and the time has come that the Savarkar should be taught in Indian and higher education system in the right perspective. You know, there was not a full course, but a part of course was dedicated to Muhammed Iqbal. And we all know that he has written a song, Sare Jahan Se Achha Hindustan Hamara. उसने लिखा जरूर लेकिन माना इसको नहीं. And he was one of the founder of the idea of Pakistan. He propagated the idea and worked very hard for the implementation of the idea. Why should we teach our generations Muhammed Iqbal? And he is also the Rashtra Kavi of Pakistan, because we have our own national hero. It will not have any impact at all. Why should we? Because otherwise if we keep on doing such things, then how would we protect the interest of our country?
Iqbal has been the one who contributed to the idea of Pakistan. He was the mind and promoting the ideology of pan-Islamism, and precisely this was the reason that it was dropped, number one. Some figures of national movement who immensely contributed to the national movement. The sole motive of academic is to engage into academic discourse. The important is to understand how Savarkar was a source of inspiration for the revolutionaries.
However, this move hasn't gone down too well with some. Listen into the ecosystem raising objections to the freedom fighter getting his due.
You know, why do you only small bridge you are calling Savarkar bridge? I am sorry, why our Prime Minister didn't say that this parliament will be known as Savarkar Parliament. I think if Prime Minister would have said it, according to our grandson of Gandhi, he has said it, Tushar Gandhi, that this parliament should be known as Savarkar Parliament.
Pushing back the chapter on Mahatma Gandhi to 7th semester while introducing Savarkar chapter at semester 5 does not seem to be just. There is no comparison between these two persons. Savarkar stands nowhere in comparison to the father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi, and therefore we must not look at this step as any kind of lesser importance being attributed to the father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi.
However, students of political science hail this addition to their syllabus.
वीर सावरकर को हर युवा के द्वारा पढ़ा जाना चाहिए। हर गांव में, हर शहर में एक तरह से हर व्यक्ति के द्वारा और उनके त्याग को, मैं तो एनसीसी कैडेट रहा हूं तो सेंट्रल जेल जाने का, मुझे काला पानी जाने का अवसर भी मिला है और मैंने उस जेलों को, उस दीवारों को, उन यातनाओं को महसूस करने की भी कोशिश किया है.
Freedom fighters, revolutionaries like Veer Savarkar is being given justice to, because there were many points that he had foreseen at that time only, and people always see him as a fundamentalist, which he was not. He had talked of minority rights for Muslims and Christians and all other communities that had come to India, from other places. Many other things, progressive ideas that Savarkar had promoted, and the idea of Hindutva.
ये एकेडमिक काउंसिल का एक बहुत ही जो निर्णय है वो स्वागत योग्य है. वीर सावरकर को पढ़ाना अपने आप में ये बहुत एक अच्छी कदम है इनके लिए, क्योंकि वीर सावरकर ने जो लड़ाई लड़ी थी हमारे देश की आज़ादी के लिए, उन्होंने जो मोटिवेट किया था उस टाइम के क्रांतिकारियों को, वो आज तक जो है वो दबा हुआ था. उनको पढ़ाना, हमारे युवाओं को पढ़ाना, उनके बारे में बताना, ये एक बहुत अच्छा कदम है.
And the family of Veer Savarkar have hailed the decision, saying that finally the revolutionary's contribution to India's freedom is being recognized.
This is a great news indeed, because Veer Savarkar was not only a great revolutionary, patriot, social reformer, writer, author, orator, but he was also a brilliant political thinker. Unfortunately, our country ignored his warnings about the future, and including the possibility of partition and so many scenarios. I think this is a great opportunity for the students to learn directly how to analyze politics and about international relations also, because Savarkar had a great perspective of international relations. He always used to say that international relations should be based on the mutual needs and not any political philosophies.
Within the Delhi University itself, there are those objecting to this move, saying that freedom fighter getting his due, in this case Veer Savarkar getting his due, is something that is not justified. Listen in.
Just on the current dispensation wanting to teach, because there's a particular signaling effect that Savarkar has for this regime, so they just want to place an entire paper on him. Point is, why dedicate a whole paper to Savarkar? You see, Savarkar was actually taught in the political science papers, but not as a separate paper, because obviously, as I just said, there are many thinkers of the early 20th century about whose evolving ideologies and understandings we need to inform the students about, we need to explain to the students about. Why are we selectively narrowing down an entire paper on one person?
All right, let me go across to Nikhil Jain, a political analyst who's joining us live at the moment. Nikhil Jain, the Delhi University and its officials say that this is something that was long overdue. A person like Savarkar, whose role in the freedom struggle, as a person who was jailed for several years, his role and his contribution had been suppressed for many decades, and now perhaps he's getting his due. Is the view coming in from those who've taken this decision? Your response to that, Nikhil Jain?
You can look at how the Vice Chancellor of the Delhi University is talking about the issue and how members of the Academic Council are talking about it. Savarkar is being included in the 5th semester at the expense of Gandhi, who's being moved to the 7th semester. So any student who wants to do a 3-year program, they're not studying Gandhi, they're studying Savarkar. I don't understand what absurdity is this. And let's not forget, Savarkar is a man who openly, widely advocated for rape of Muslim women as a political tool. Is he the kind of revolutionary or freedom fighter we want to teach our children? And so far as the Vice Chancellor's statement is concerned, that we need to protect our country and the country needs to be protected. I'm sorry, sir, but that's not your job. We have the Indian Army for it. We have our Indian security agencies for it. The job of history students is to learn about the bad figures, is to learn about the good figures. But of course, the focus has to be more on the more important figures like Gandhi and Nehru and Sardar Patel and Bose and Bhagat Singh. It cannot be on figures like Savarkar, who since 1920, by self-proclamation, was the most humble servant of the British. I don't understand what is this fascination with Savarkar.
Well, there are multiple versions and responses to that. In fact, there are those who have said that it was the advice of Mahatma Gandhi that Savarkar, in fact, put out that apology. That also has been stated in the past. But I want Gargi Nandi Roy to respond to the charges. Gargi Nandi Roy, you had Nikhil Jain a short while earlier saying that Savarkar is certainly not someone who should be taught, and not at the expense of Gandhi, because of the kind of statements that he has made, calling for, as he alleges, the rape of Muslim women, etc. That is the kind of objection that Nikhil Jain has to Savarkar being taught. Your response to that?
See, thank you for inviting me, Madhav. You know, problem in our democracy is anybody can say anything. Even he has no credibility to speak. So,
now this is a problem in a democracy.
Yeah. That is the problem in too much of democracy you people have got. How you can speak about Savarkar, you know, who even when he was in London for 5 years, how he galvanized, how he made a network with the revolutionaries around the world, whether it is French, Irish, Italian, and how British government was petrified by him. They gave him double life imprisonment. They even arrested him wrongfully. One second, Nikhil, I didn't interfere. When he was arrested from London, he was a bona fide law student. He was arrested for Fugitive Offenders Act. And what was done to him in Kalapani? His hands used to be tied. He was kept 6 months solitary confinement. He was used to withdraw oil like a bullock. Okay, what kind of torture? They were handcuffed. And what is he talking about? That petition, that was the normal general amnesty norm that time. Even Gandhiji wrote a letter like that. Nikhil, it has been shown to you.
Gandhi never wrote anything like that. Gandhi, Nehru, Patel, Bose, Bhagat Singh never wrote anything like that.
What did Nehru do? See, Nehru, he was not kept in Aga Khan Palace, or he did not have the luxury to write letters and books.
My God,
even when Nehruji
so
was
many
in
people
Nawab
gave their lives for the freedom struggle.
All right. Clearly, when it comes to history, this kind of debate always ends up getting very sharp reactions from all sides. All that I'll say is that, I think the point that Gargi Nandi Roy was saying when she referred to too much democracy is that freedom of speech also comes with reasonable restrictions which are mentioned in the constitution. I think that's the point that we are mentioning, but either side, certainly in this particular case, in this political debate, certainly of course has their own points to argue. We'll have to see of course what further comes out as far as DU's decision is concerned in terms of the political outcome of all of this. For the moment, slipping into a very quick break.